And hey, welcome to that webinar. And topic, we have 3 tactics that are killing your corporate innovation. And we will have a lot of case examples as well. So that will be quite exciting. I'm sure that this will be valuable for all of you. Yeah, and it's great to see there some old friends as well around Europe. And yeah, many new people as well that we haven't collaborated yet. So yeah, so we have a lot of people here. That will be great 1 hour. And my personal goal is that when we will end that session and you close your screen, that you can feel that, okay, now I have something concrete tools to do my work better and utilize those tactics in your organization. And I'm sure that you definitely will get those many tools that you can utilize. And also hopefully understand that where are those risks that or traps where people usually jump really easily. So those are also good to understand. But hey, let's start that session, and I tell shortly who I am, but let's keep this short, and then I tell shortly what is Catapult, and after that we jump to the topic, because we are not selling here anything. That's my personal goal, but bring as much concrete value for you as possible. So that's the main topic, but shortly so that you know who I am. So I have been entrepreneur for more than 20 years, and I have led teams there in the United States, in the UK, and also in Finland. And I have created earlier customer engagement tools and services, especially there in the United States and in the UK, for quite many big companies out there, international players who have wanted to utilize new tools and new opportunities to engage their audience and clients out there. And then nowadays at Catapult, so I'm a founder and also chief development officer. So I try to think about all the time that what we could do better, what would bring the more value for our clients, and that's some kind of mindset and part of my DNA that what I'm thinking all the time. So that is shortly my background, and then if we think about the Catapult itself, we have I would say that everything that we do, we are enabling smart decision in tech and innovation field. That is basically our own some kind of main thing that we think about all the time, and underline our clients as well. That is the benefits that we want to bring to the table, and we have collaborated with more than 300 corporations out there in different ways around Europe, and they are really small organizations, only family offices, for example, only few employees, and then also those world biggest companies out there in different verticals and everything between that. So we have quite a lot of information that what are those challenges that when you think about innovation and how to utilize those, and also how you can find it, but also that when you have found it, what's then? So also we have seen a lot of internal challenges in different organizations. So I try to tackle those topics today and bring those different tactics, what you should avoid definitely, and then what are the most important things to focus on. And then we analyze all the time more than 1 million companies out there in the international market. So that way we get also really deep understanding what's going on there in the market. And so that is basically some kind of numbers that I thought that it's good to mention. And then we have 2 business lines. We have that data-driven research, where we do market analysis and also partner research for partnering or investing in or acquisitions for our clients. And then another stream is that InnoPipe platform, and it's basically a platform that some of our clients utilize for discovering new innovations out there in the market, really fast way with huge amount of data, and also how you can manage your deal flow. So that is shortly those two legs that we have in our company, that data-driven research and InnoPipe platform as well. But that was shortly my background, company background, or info what we are doing. But now I want to focus on that topic and forget Catapult itself and focus on you and think about that what would bring the biggest value for you. Hopefully that was informative, however, that now you know more about something about me and company as well. But let's have a short poll so that we know something about your perspective as well. So which channels you are utilizing when you want to find tech companies or innovations or startups out there. So they are. Now you should see that poll there on your screen, so you can click there. And so basically networks, connections, or event, or then consulting agencies or data sources or corporate accelerator or incubators. What channels you utilize? Let's check it out. I should get those results to my phone as well, so that because that is interesting information, so that we can fix our messages also and focus on those things. Okay, so networking is biggest thing, and then data sources. So those are more than 85%. So that is or roughly 85%. So that is important to understand. Yeah. So when I show you those concrete case examples as well, I think about that angle, because that is that hopefully help you to get benefits as strongly as possible. And there is also some utilized consulting agencies, and then different type of corporate accelerator or incubator programs. But interesting. Now we know. You know more something about me and Catapult, but now I know something about you as well now. So that is really helpful. And let's have a second question. So what is the biggest pain when you're thinking that finding tech companies or innovations or startups? So if you think about your daily life, so what is the biggest problem for you? Or biggest pain? Okay, so finding solutions. That's the biggest thing, and then those two another are the same size in the poll. So yeah. But hey, thanks a lot for this, because that is interesting to understand. And now let's I have instantly ideas how we utilize that. That's good. So now we can jump to that topic and let's think about first that big picture out there in the market. So if we think about that, what's going on there in the market at the moment based on facts and data. So average age of 500 companies, those biggest ones in the market, in the world, earlier the average age was 67 years. So it means that earlier it took decades to really build your business step by step, build that capabilities, hire the right type of people, build maybe factories or shops, and then step by step you build your business, and at some point found yourself on the top of the hill, that okay, yeah, now I'm here. And that has changed really, really dramatically in the last years. So if we think about what is situation today, now those 500 biggest companies in the world, the average age is 15 years. Think about it, 15 years. So most of the biggest companies on the planet has been founded after year 2005. And that's the huge change if we think about historically. Because earlier it took a lot of time to climb to that hill, top of the hill, but now companies can do it much faster. And the reason is quite easy to understand, but reason is that there are innovations out there that you can utilize even with quite small resources. So you don't need to create everything by yourself. You don't need to have a lot of resources to do long-term R&D. Of course, maybe you should do it somehow as well. But generally speaking, if you think about how to serve your clients, how to do things much more faster, better, with better quality, there are a lot of innovations out there that you can utilize. And companies are utilizing that. And that's why there are new and new big companies on that planet all the time that take that market. And that is interesting. That is really interesting. But we don't see it when we sit down in our office and start to work, do our daily things and tasks. We don't see that speed of change, because our office is exactly same as yesterday, and we do almost same things as we have done earlier. And that's why we don't see it. But if we think about facts, the change is quite huge. And what research companies say that in next 10 years, that change will even speed up. It's faster and faster. And research companies have estimated that after 10 years, average age of those biggest companies is 10 years. So after 10 years, most of the world's biggest companies, what is in the market, they haven't been founded today, but will start it tomorrow and day after tomorrow and so on. And really often, that is also that we don't understand or think about. But these are the facts. And then if we think about, of course, the last one is not the fact, because that is, we haven't seen it yet, but those earlier statistics, those are facts as well. Then if we check it out, that interesting research that Forbes made some time ago, they interviewed a lot of CEOs globally from different verticals, from agriculture to space industry, and check it out that how they see the change. And I was surprised positively that 72% of CEOs believe that those next years will be the more critical than the last 50 years. So it's positive that they understand what's going on there in the market. But then there's a big question mark that, okay, what we should do now so that we can tackle that situation and be after next year and 3 years and 5 years and 10 years, so that we will be there and we are in the good situation as well in the market. And that's not easy thing. It's quite hard, if I say honestly, everything that we have seen. So, but that is good to understand that understanding is there quite widely in the top level of top positioning in the corporations, but it's not easy to take those concrete steps after that. So it's really hard to change those things internally, in those corporations, and also utilize those external opportunities out there. But they are especially these few things that I believe that are the hardest ones. Getting everyone on board. So it's possible that if you are some kind of innovation guy, so you should find those great innovation. You should lead that transformation step by step and help other people change their things as well. But how to get everyone on board, because they have their old routines, old habits, old KPIs, old rules, it's really hard. And it's really hard to convince them that if you know something or you feel something and you have found something, that other people should react positively as well. It's really, really hard to convince. And then one thing is that usually those old businesses or old departments and everything, they have the budget already, and they have allocated money there, and they get it every year. It doesn't matter is it relevant anymore, but they get it usually. But everyone, if you bring something new to the table, everyone asks, okay, we don't have money. So that's the really often the situation to really get the budget or resources to take those steps or find companies, and when you find it, do something with those. So that is also really, really hard. And then it's really hard to make smart decisions, because as you answered that it's really difficult to find right solution, those best solutions. That is one challenge. But why it's so challenging? Because we have so many options out there all the time, and after 6 months there are again new opportunities. So we are in the situation that it's really difficult to decide: am I stupid if I do this, or am I really smart if I do this? And when I don't know it, it's really hard to convince other people, because I can say that, hey guys, I know this. There's the facts. Let's do it. So that's what we have faced really heavily. All of these three, in different type of and different size of companies out there. And then, as I said earlier, that to find that right case out there, it's hard. There are so many opportunities, and it's really hard to know that if I found quite okay option, is this quite crappy one if I compare those best ones, or is this really good? But I don't know it usually. So that's the challenge. Before we jump to go through those concrete tactics, one thing before that. So basically, almost everyone knows that we should utilize those innovations out there, because we need to take steps, because the world is changing. And you should also sell the idea to utilize those internally. And those are the key things when you think about whole corporate innovation. And then the challenge is that how to base your decisions on facts. And that's maybe the most critical thing. And as I said earlier, the convincing people, that's the most important thing if you want that some other people decide good things as well and do some good things regarding innovation. And if you can do these things, so utilize data and based on that data, have those facts and make concrete decision based on facts and your strategy, then you definitely can do amazing things, that's sure. But it's not easy, and that's why we jump now to those concrete tactics and challenges what is out there. One case example that I would like to use regarding that budgeting and convincing. We work for one, they are world biggest player in their own field. So they have a huge resources, but then we started work one of their department who is focusing on new opportunities, new businesses, and they have a big goals. So they should build the new revenue streams. But then they say that it's really difficult to get the money to those new things. if they say that the IT department burn 100 million every year, and that's no problem because they have that budget, they will burn it, they are developing those really huge legacy things, and that's okay for that company. But then when this new side of the company would like to do something, then it's difficult to get that 10,000 euros for those things. So everyone asked, hey, but okay, so is this relevant for us? And okay, there's 10,000, so do something and show us. But then they call us and say that, could you analyze that market that we know more concretely what we should do and so that we put our resources to the right place, because we have a really, really small resources. And then we analyzed the market, and the topic was sustainability in the transportation. And we analyzed that market. We analyzed the competitors as well, what they are doing in that innovation field, tech and innovation field, and regarding investments or acquisition or patents and so on. And we analyzed all of those. And then we had a 3-hour session with the team when we go through all findings. And they check it out each other there. Holy shit, we haven't known anything about these things. And then they started to think about, hey, we should put at least 1 million there. So yeah, instantly. And then we are sure that we get more money easily if we need it. And then suddenly, in that discussion, when we show those facts, insights, concrete details from the market, they understood that they can convince the board members and directors there really easily, because there are facts. They know what their competitors are doing, what are their secret direction when we show the investments and acquisitions in the innovation field. So they were super excited that now we can convince our boss that, hey, we should not do this because everyone else is doing that. So, but there's growing something really big. So let's jump to that trade and compete our competitors in that field. So that way, that budgeting thing challenge ended instantly. At least in their phase, they said that, yeah, now it's not problem at all to get that money. But earlier they had a problem to convince people because they didn't have those facts. And that's the one example that I remember really often when people say that they have a budget, a really challenging situation with budgeting because they don't get money. And I don't say that all organizations have a lot of money, but at least it's possible to convince different way. Okay, there's a question in the audience. Wait a second, that's why I check it out my phone. There were the question that, are you saying innovation ecosystem is not using data-driven approach? No, I'm not saying that. It can be also really systematic and data-driven approach. But when I go through now these tactics, and if we check it out that what is based on facts and data, we really often see that even though we feel that now we have data or we have many cases that we can analyze, we often forgot huge amount of about those opportunities out there. So we check it out one direction and forget everything else, even though there could be really amazing solution, even the best ones outside of that narrow focus. So but hey, thanks. So if any of you have those questions, these are really good points. And then if we think about that tactic one that does not work if you utilize only or follow that tactic. So basically, some companies make those big strategic decisions before they explore the market. So basically, it's possible that they decide that for example, that niche tech vertical or some other criteria that they decide that, okay, we want to find only that type of companies. And they are, of course, good points. So then you have a focus and you don't waste time there, but there are also a lot of question marks and some kind of challenges that does not support your innovation and successful innovation there in your organization. I show you some examples of that. Let's say that use case one. So there's syndrome also in some companies that they can say, for example, companies they have contacted us already. So we have a lot of cases. So everyone knows us in that field. So we are bank or we are manufacturer or customer fashion brand or whatever. So different players out there, they know us. So they contact us. So we have a lot of good opportunities here. So we focus on these cases. And that's great, but they are also a big risk if you utilize only that tactic. And one example that was really interesting when we one of our clients is one of the biggest aviation company in the Nordics. So they operate airports, a lot of airports, and they say that they need conversational AI solution. So they have really critical things where they need it, and they feel that they can save a lot of time and serve different players much better way if they have good solution for that. And then we said, okay, that's great, but they say that we have analyzed that field really deeply already. So there are 11 great options for us, but we feel that there could be maybe few still that could be matched with our criteria. And I said that, yeah, that's great. Maybe they are more than, but they had also that question mark that can you find any relevant anymore? Because we have checked out a lot of those and test some of those also. But then we analyzed the market and we started to check it out that more than 1 million companies. And then we noticed that they are 649 companies from different data providers, databases that could match that they needs. And then we also crawled millions of websites and checked it out. There's more than 170 companies that are not any databases, but could be also relevant. So altogether, 823 companies. And then we started to analyze those companies more deeply and found that there's 16 that are top of the top and best based on those criteria as well of our client. And then we selected those 8 best. And they were, I don't remember all numbers, but at least one of the case that was their table already. But that is good example that they thought that they know it, they had a good option on the table, but they forgot those 99% of the companies that was in the market that could be relevant for them. And they focus on that 1% of those cases, roughly 1%. And that is really often the situation. So usually there are much more opportunities that you can imagine. And even though you try to find those, usually you find quite many, but there are a lot of other options as well. And regarding that tactic one, another use case that some companies want to find companies close by. So basically in the same country or next country at least. And so they feel that we want to focus on companies in Northern Europe or in Germany or whatever is that the territory. And what we have learned that we have had many clients who have said that, yeah, we want to find it in German, Switzerland or Austria. And then we said, okay, that's fine. Let's check it out, that market. But every single time when we have checked it out, however, all options in Europe, same time, and if that company is other side of the border, that best one, outside of Germany, for example, let's say in Denmark, 400 kilometers of the headquarters of that company, and we say that, would you like to, here is the company from your territory, so there are great options as well, and here is the other options in Europe, for example. And if you compare these, quite often it can be that if you check it out bigger area, there are much better cases. Not in every case, but quite often. And every single time when we have had that situation, and we have tell that, hey, by the way, other side of the border, there is the best option for you. Every single time they have said, of course we want that best one. But at the beginning, they said that no way, we don't even want to see cases outside of our territory. And that is quite often the situation. So it's good to understand that maybe it's not smart to think about only your local market, even though they can be really good option, but it can be that those best options are not there. So you take risk at least. Okay, then let's jump to the tactic 2. That does not work so well, even though we maybe think that those are good ones. So thinking small. So people don't feel that they're thinking small because everyone usually in innovation field think quite big. I think all of you try to think quite big, however. But let's check it out. I got the... No, sorry. I thought that there's a question from you, but no. Many of us utilize our networks, and they are really good things as well if you have a good networks, because they are that trust with many people. Usually you have collaborated with them maybe earlier, and you know what they maybe, they are the social pressure to give you good cases, not the crappiest one. And but they are also lot of challenges with that. So if we think about the use case that quite often different players say that, hey, we have been already there with Slush. Slush is one of the biggest tech event globally, like Web Summit, for example. And so people go to those events. And now I'm not saying that those events are crappy ones. They are really, really amazing events. But when people go there are a lot of opportunities, relevant opportunities and not relevant opportunities. But however, you can meet great options there, almost every time. And then you feel that, okay, I was there already. I have good options on my table now. That's great. And then you can convince that it was good to fly there. That was 1.5 years ago, not anymore so often. But however, that you spent your time nicely and smartly because you now found those options. But if you are looking for really early stage cases, that is really good way to do it. And it's really good to utilize your networks. And for example, angel networks, local angel networks, those are the best ones if you think about that you want to find those early stage cases. Because any data provider can't know those really early stage cases, even though the founder team would be really good. So it's really positive that you have those networks, especially if you are looking for that type of cases. But if you think about then, wait a second, there's a question. So, question was the business environment analysis should be the beginning of the annual strategy process. Could this kind of technology trend or startup scene analysis be utilized as a part of the work? Yeah, I think that earlier it was, especially in big companies, that has been some kind of quite often part of strategy renewing the strategy and understanding where we should go maybe. But I think that more and more it will be some kind of part of your daily job, because there are a lot of things that are happening all the time in the market. So it should be part of your some kind of ongoing process. And that's where there needs to be different type of tools, different type of, like those data providers, data sources, different type of platforms that you can utilize when you do your work all the time. And I think that that's the direction where most of players are going, because it's not enough that you do those analyses when you renew your strategy somehow, or change it and try to find the new streams or path directions. So, but I and we really believe that it will be weekly basis thing or monthly basis things at least, when you want to understand what's going on there in the market, not every year or every second year processes. But if we think about that tactic too and those minuses, quite often it's not possible to build some kind of systematic approach to find and evaluate all of those cases. So if you have a networks, you get those good cases, but if you have a connection in France, who know the field there, and you have that connection suggests you one case, for example, hey, this could be good for you. You can feel that is quite good case, but you don't know what are the options in France market regarding that one case. Is there some other good cases that could be other options as well? Or what are the other options in other countries around Europe, for example? So it's difficult to utilize that systematic way to compare things and evaluate those. And then if you think about trust, I say that connections are good because they are that some kind of psychological trust feeling, and that is really important part of it. But same time, if you think about internally, it's really hard to convince people and build the trust if your decision are based on networks. Because then you say that, hey, Jürgen introduced this case to me, that could be really good for us. And then someone start to challenge you that, okay, so why Jürgen introduced this, and is there some other options? Have you checked out all of those? And then you say, yeah, but Jürgen know this field really well. But they don't. Your teammates don't have that connections, and it feels really often that you got that case from Jürgen, and then you think that okay, this is maybe quite okay. Let's use this. So that does not bring that trust, so that people could be on board and could start to boost that process and support it, and that's the big challenge. And that when that happen, that people don't trust you or your logics to find or bring those cases to the table, that is really bad situation, because really quickly people start to, especially in business units, they start to say, okay, yeah, the Paavo comes again here and such as some kind of cool startup, but all of those are quite crappy one, because they don't know what we are doing. We are doing really hard things. We are if we are bank, we are in regulated territory or whatever is that vertical. And really often it's harder and harder to get any kind of steps in that innovation field. And then it's really hard to build that trust again. That is what many of our clients, those people that we are collaborating really deeply, that they have said that when that trust is not there anymore, then it's almost possible to do anything there, even though you would be that great case on your hand. Okay, then let's jump to that tactic 3 that does not work. if you only utilize that tactic. So focusing on one specific industry or tech vertical. And this is, by the way, this is super common for all of us if we think about that, or I could say that every one of us feel that our industry is special. Every industries are so special that we want to check it out, cases, some kind of innovations that are related with our industry somehow. That is usually the normal situation. Sorry, my Siri started to talk to me. Maybe she would like to say something to you as well. But that is big challenge. Even though it feels that this is really smart way to do it, because then you focus again the right things, and if you find something that company knows that what you are doing, so it's easier to collaborate. So that is really logic way. But when we check it out, the learnings from that tactic, and check it out those some use cases. Usually the syndrome is that we know the industry, our own industry, really, really well. We know that really deeply. We are the best in that field. And then, because we are best in that field, everyone knows us as well. And so we know what we need. And that way, you start to focus on really strictly to your own industry or tech vertical usually. And what does it mean? That there's one of our clients, it's one of the biggest construction company in Northern Europe. They are operating around Europe as well, but however, Nordic company, and they say that they have one really big challenge, not only in their company, but that whole vertical in construction business has that huge challenge. So if they could solve that, it would be great advance, and they could maybe utilize it money-wise also quite nicely. And then they say that we have analyzed that we need IoT solution for that. If we have a great IoT solution for that, we can solve the problem and achieve our goal. And if we can do it, that will be amazing situation, even for the whole industry. And then they ask us to find best IoT solution for that. And then we asked, okay, yeah, great that we can think about that IoT, but let's think about your pain first. So what is that real pain in the market regarding that case? And they describe it really deeply, and what is the cost of that pain, and in the whole industry it was huge. And then we asked, okay, how about that benefits? If you can solve this, what are all of those benefits? And if you could describe it, and what type of world is after that? And then we have a session where we understood their thoughts and so on. But they underline all the time that they have planned this with one consulting company, and they have decided that IoT is the thing. And we said that, okay, that's great. We check it out the market, and let's find those best cases out there that could solve that problem. So then we started to analyze those more than plus 1 million companies, and found great IoT companies there. And perfect, they were one specific need, so all IoT solutions really can't match, are not the best match, but there were a lot of good options as well. But what we noticed, that there were one company in Slovakia, a small company, only 6 employees, and they did something totally different. They focus on space industry only. So they are world best in the field, even though they have only 6 companies. But they are working for NASA and ESA, European Space Association as well, and they space stations out there. And they are really specific requirements that they need to think about. And they thought that they don't focus on Earth at all, because they solve something really special problems there in the space. And then when we analyze all of those solutions out there, we notice that that's the by far best option to solve that challenge. And why that company, that small company, had something really special, it was that in the space station, there isn't space for different type of IoTs. So you can't put those different type of IoTs there that could analyze things. So they need something else. And they created AI that can get that information from the air automatically without IoTs. And that way the space station save a lot of time, space there. And when there's only one thing that do all of those that different IoTs could solve. And when we analyze it, that was the perfect match for the industry, that construction industry as well. And that is good example that the space industry company would not think that, hey, our solution could be really good for construction business. And that construction company doesn't feel that, hey, maybe space industry solutions could be really good for us. But when you analyze the market deeply, you find these things. And with almost all our clients, we see that type of situations. So they have quite clear understanding what they should get. In some cases that is really strict and they know it exactly, but quite often they know the pain and they know the goal, but then they feel that they know also the really strictly what they should get. But quite often there are a lot of other great options and sometimes even the best options out there that don't have yet any link with your industry. And when you find those, it's possible that you have totally different type of advance against your competitor because you have something really unique, not that basic IoT solution for that when everyone else have different type of IoT solutions as well. And that's the really critical thing. I feel that it's good to remember. So that you can really utilize all of those opportunities out there. And then if we think about those most important takeaways, by the way, do you have any questions? If you have, please send it. I will get it to my phone. Okay. Yeah, but whenever you feel you have any question marks in your head, please throw it to the screen. But those, if we think about the corporate innovation and corporate venturing, there are three main key takeaways that I feel that are really relevant and good to remember. First is that when you make those strategic decisions, try to utilize those fact-based things, data-based things. And there can be different options. What does it mean? It can be that you utilize, as some of you have utilized consulting companies, many of you have utilized different type of platforms to getting the data. And I check it out, your answers here. And then, okay, many utilize networks as well, but I would suggest that if you utilize networks, you start to think about other options as well. Some kind of data-related platforms, and maybe also then concrete help from consulting companies. They are different type of great consulting companies also in every country. I think they are 300 consulting companies, good consulting companies, at least in Europe, that is focusing on quite heavily innovation. So that's good to test or evaluate also some of those. But unfortunately, many of those utilize these three tactics. They utilize networks only, or they utilize some other that type of tactics that doesn't bring that fact to the table. But they are those really good ones in the market as well. So think about that if you utilize consulting, check it out that they have that fact-based approach, and so that you can utilize it and you can convince people as well internally when you have these facts. And then the second thing is that not only think about those connections, as I said earlier. So it's really important to go different events, but I think that it's really important for learning as well. When you meet people, you learn a lot of things in every meeting, and then if you find a quite great case that match with your needs in one virtual event, for example, then I think it's good to think about, okay, how I can find the details of all competitors easily to me, so that I can analyze those and then make decision that is this good case for me, or is it this another one? And again, when you do it, you can convince your people internally totally different way. Not only saying that, hey, I met that one company there. Okay, it's like gambling. It's possible that it's good, or it's possible that it's not good if you compare other players out there. So that way, it's good to challenge that networking power, especially if you are looking for something else than the local, really early stage cases. And then break out that industry bubble, as that last case example. As I said, that we faced with almost every single clients that we have. We have there are a lot of great opportunities outside of your own some kind of industry, some kind of tight vertical. So utilize those options, because if you don't do it, you forget 40, 60 or 90% of cases, or 99% of cases instantly. And that's not the best way to do those or find those best options for you. We have only 5 minutes. We have still one poll here that it would be good to check it out as well. There's one thing that I would like to go through with you, but we don't have time to go through it totally. Wait a second, is there a question? Yes, question. Wait a second. Now I see it. So, what are some examples of success where someone has gone beyond their own specialist area, vertical? I think that this construction case was one of those, and if we think about, I try to think about what is the okay. Let's say that if we think about the most successful companies on the planet, for example, let's say Amazon. Earlier they sold books, for example, but after that they have taken totally different type of steps when they have seen opportunities out there, ways to automate a lot of things, and they have seen that, hey, we have a clients already, how we can make more money by serving our clients and do something, utilize those new things out there in the market. That is one example. If you think about Google, first they had that web searching. It's one block there and you search. What they are doing nowadays, they are doing a lot of things that we are using every day. They are doing maps things, they are advertising company, they are doing a lot of things. And what they will do totally different things really soon. They have bought huge amount of companies that are doing totally different things that we haven't even thought about earlier. They have bought, for example, 7 top robotic companies, totally different type of robotic companies. And there are a lot of examples. And wait a second, another question. Is this related to this? Would it be interesting hearing what are the innovation new business areas where Finland retail industry is currently researching? I could say that this is not only in Finland. This is Europe-wide as well. I think that that even though client doesn't say that AI, we would like to find AI, but almost every single time AI is related with those best solutions. So they are, for example, looking for how to engage clients, how to keep them when there will be more and more competitions and competitors out there, and different type of players jump from the other verticals to that field as well. And many, by the way, many industries are facing the same type of situation. That some other players are coming from some other industries or at least sectors to their field and playing in many verticals somehow, because that serve the clients. So, but that is really often the situation. But because I don't have time to go through that last thing, I will send it to all of you via email, so that because I think it's important thing as well. So I will send it at the latest on Monday to you, so that you will get it via email. But then let's jump to that poll. So which topic you would want to learn more about in the possible future webinars? So what type of thoughts you have? What would bring the most of value for you? We haven't decided any webinar topics or times yet, but we have got quite a lot of suggestions that, hey, it would be really nice to hear your learnings and so on. So that's why we thought that it's good to put this question to the table as well, so that you can tell your opinion, that what would bring the biggest value for you. Thanks for all of those questions. And then the last thing, we have 1 minute left, so okay, let's jump that away, and you will get that to your email. But then if you would like to have further discussion, short coffee break, please let me know. You can book a slot directly from my calendar. So calendly.com/Paavo and Beckman, and you should have that tab there also now on your screen, so that you can click it and book 15 or 30 minutes or 1 hour virtual coffee with me. So please do it. If you have any questions, you would like to ping pong, you would like to challenge, or you would hear my opinion, let's do it and have a coffee together. So you can book there directly from that calendar, so it shows my available slots. So hopefully you see it, because I see different things, so I don't see that. so hopefully you can click there and pick up. Yeah, you see it. Yeah, I got the confirmation. Thanks team. So please send the suggestions for the time, and I'm more than happy to chat more with you. And hopefully that was concrete, informative, and gave you some ideas what you should maybe do differently, how you could do more efficiently, how you could convince people, and where you should put your effort, and hopefully that was really valuable for you. And I really want to thank you. It was a pleasure to see all of you, new faces and not faces because I don't see your face, but a lot of new people out there, and some old friends as well. It was pleasure to serve you. So thanks a lot, and have a great summer weekend for all of us. So hopefully we will chat later with you as well. Thanks a lot.